was Dan Harmon's point of view at that time?
Kind of. I only remember really titles of.
I know my closer was a rap about masturbation.
Right.
So nothing has changed.
You did it.
And a good 8 minutes of Jeffrey Dahmer jokes.
Yeah.
Who was eating people at the time. So it was a hot, funny
Milwaukee,
topic.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got a story about that. When you had like a bit about like Johnny Carson fucking Ed McMahon in the butt.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't gonna make anyone any happy.
Well, my stand-up was like, oh, what if Batman was taking a shit when the bat signal came up?
I'm going to ask this question of both of you. You both are. What year is this?
92.
Yeah. No. It might have been 91 because I was.
Oh
turning,
yeah.
I was turning. No. I was about to turn 92, and fuck.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
I was about to turn 22, and I wanted to be a stand-up comedian while I was 21.
Okay, it doesn't matter. So you're both club promoters in 1991, and neither of you are comics, but you're familiar with the other person.
Correct.
You have like one in the newspaper. They're like, look, like Dan Harmon's coming to the Chuckle Bucket. How do we plug the show? What do you both say as club promoters to promote the other person, knowing what you knew about each other at the time?
At the time?
Come see Dan come see Nelly Furtado.
Is that your stage name?
No, I have this playlist, this 90s playlist. Come see Nelly Furtado. She sings about freedom. Yes, but please don't. You don't have to say what, audience. I can hear you. Just like how do you describe this? How do you promote the other person? Come see Carrot Top. His props will bring you to a grave of laughter.
Go easy on them, folks. They're just starting out.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of that.
No, but I want to know because
there's a lot of that. Like after I would do stand up, and then like the guy who was like the MC of the night, like, give it up. Comedy's hard, guys. Come on.
Come on, this isn't easy, folks.
Come on.
What do you think you can do better? That was Rob Schraub, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Well, that's a given because you guys are starting out, and this is something I've asked you about before, and I can't get a straight answer. But like, what were you guys talking about?
I was 17 years old. I didn't.
I know. But as an exercise,
I did it.
How do you, you're a club promoter? What are your three sentences?
Come see Rob Schraub do.
No. You're describing
new
Dan.
acts like that, do you?
No, Spencer. It's a hypothetical. Like as if they're not.
She's trying to figure out a way for us to answer the question.
By the way, this is not Aaron McGathy.
Don't hypothetical situations usually exist, though?
Well, what? No, because they're hypothetical.
Well, they could. Like, in theory, that's why you do it. You don't do, like, hypothetically, what if an ape, ate a thing? I guess that could happen.
All right, stop.
There's no need to shut down right there.
I'm just saying.
Do you want this to be grounded or emotionally driven? Do you want it? Do you mean like? Because
is there a difference?
In the grounded version, it would just be the literal.
No, I do not want it to be grounded. I want to know what kind of comedy you were doing at the time.
Oh,
I want
okay.
you,
Rob was
like as
doing...
if like at that moment, but I want you to present it as club promoter.
All right.
It's not a crazy thing.
You don't have to be defensive about it.
Well, I'm being defensive towards Spencer, who last week said that we were in different generations.
Yeah, you are. You are. Yeah.
By 5 years. All right, anyway.
All right. We're getting bogged down in stuff that
we are.
Not...
I'm so sorry that now I'm committing to this, but I'd really like to know.
If I may, I think you're not asking for like a performance-driven thing. You just want to know what it was like. Like, give us the experience, right?
I assume that you guys were starting out, so I don't need to know that like it was amateur or whatever. I just want to know what your point of view at the time was. I just found out that Dan was making jokes about Jeffrey Dahmer, which is really interesting. I'm just curious how you would plug the other person if they were the hypothetical. Is that the other person is a famous comic. How do you plug that person?
Right. I think this is. I fell in love with Dan's act before I fell in love with him because he would do what I liked, was talking about pop culture, and I was obsessed and still am with like pop culture. In
so
fact,
so as a club promoter, what would you say?
Come see Dan Harmon.
They can't hear. This is a newspaper.
don't know.
I think it's 9/11 again.
Yeah.
But not on the clock. This is a rubble and corpse-based observation.
Dan Harmon's witty observational humor about oversized women doing in the elevator at college. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. See his impressive impressions of Ed McMahon having sex with Johnny Carson. Can you believe it? Could you imagine? So those are like the kind of zaps that are happening next.
Perfect.
Can I tell? But
do yours for Schraub's.
Well,
really good. Just
these
do
I
are
don't want to do the club
remember.
promoter thing. I just want to tell you my favorite, like Schraub's stand-up thing. That like.
Would you humor me and just do the club promoter thing before you explain the Schraub thing?
Schraub, come see a guy who looks like a young version of Michael Stipe doing pussy and Batman jokes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, but Rob,
Did I do pussy jokes? What pussy jokes?
I'm blowing through it, man.
You're right. I probably did a lot of pussy.
Rob's opening thing was he would say he would do an impression of I don't know how you would tee it up, and he would go like what if Tonto from Lone Ranger and McCoy from Star Trek both ended up on a planet full of dead people. and you're like, it would be Tonto going, him dead, Kimosabe. He's dead, Jim. Him dead, Kimosabe. He's dead, Jim. And then the punchline was Rob saying, like, and then there's a split screen and it's just the two of them, and they're like, him dead, Jim. Kimosabe? He's dead, Jim? And then they were both crying because they missed the Lone Ranger and Jim.
I forgot about the split screen.
Yeah, the split screen's the funny part because it was stand-up that had a split screen. That's what I was like. I love this guy.
Yeah.
His stand-up has a split screen in it.
What was the fat women in the elevator joke?
Just a horrible
I think
Asperger child thinking that the reason not everyone did Andrew Dice Clay's act is because they were afraid to do it. Like I did not understand comedy. I was a terrible stand-up. It was terrible material.
Everyone here respects you a whole lot and knows that you're great.
I accept that, but I was
Dan
doing
would
terrible,
say,
terrible.
I go to Marquette. Marquette, was it Marquette that you kind of went to and then left?
Yes.
Okay, so you go to Marquette and you're in the dorm and you go, and I'm sitting there. Okay, do you want me to word for word?
No, I don't, because I'm embarrassed about it. Because
it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to say it because we see.
17.
Okay, I'm going to say instead of cunt, C word, all right?
Because I thought that was acceptable to say. That's how out of touch I was.
But even back then,
right? Well, no
even back then in '91, the whole room went, ah.
No, you don't say the C word in your stand-up act, like just
Stop
throwing it out.
saying that word. It's the worst. No, it was just like I go to Marquette and I'm going to the dorm and and I get in the elevator and I press 1 and there's these fat C words that are there. And they say, couldn't you take the stairs? And I go, okay, I'll get off on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and take the stairs. Bye.
Yeah, I was terrible. It was awful.
But it was,
awful.
It got.
No, it didn't. No one laughed. Everyone was sad for me.
But it was okay.
They could see from my acne that I was young enough that it was weird that I was there. So it was like, yay.
You were 17, 18?
Yeah.
I was not 18 and he was not 17. I was 21 and he was 18, and I actually got him in trouble because the woman that I was dating was the girl that I was dating that was absolutely dating 5 other guys at the same time. She was a waitress at the bar, and we were living together at the time when she was not having sex with everybody else in the world. And I'm rolling over. Dan's funny, right? Yeah, whatever. you know, he's only 18 and he's so much funnier than me. I don't understand it. What? He's 18? I've been serving him drinks. Shit! And I got Dan kicked out of the bar.
Ended my burgeoning stand-up career.
Right.
About fat cunts.
That was our first. That was our first.
That's so many other body sizes. So many
first
other.
Encounter, I was playing Matrix and.
Out there with cactus
There
coins.
was the putt one, the too much pepper one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much pepper.
Yeah, I hit a putt. I hit it way farther past the hole than I originally was, and I went too much pepper on the pussy. And that's all I had. I just said that, and I think there was families on the adjacent holes, and
I said not enough salt on the balls. And then we spent the next hour trying to finish the song.
Yeah, but by the 8th hole we had Mama's in the kitchen making titty stew, and Daddy's making business calls.
It took us a long time.
I was golfing on that same course, the pitch and putt into Bell, and we're all terrible. But I hit a ball, and it was just the worst shot. And I yelled the C word while we're at it. I just went, cut! And I look over, and there's a father on a green right like 20 yards away from me with two like young boys just like staring at me. The boys don't know what it is, but the father was giving me a look like, what are you doing? And I went, I can't golf! I was up all night in a wizard sleeve.
I can't golf. All right. Well, good save.
Yeah, he didn't buy it for a second. 8 colors. There were 8 colors that if you wore, someone would come up to you and grab it. And I was like at an arcade bowling alley kind of thing, and I walked outside and I had like a green like bandana on, like, you know, kind of tied in the back. Like, I don't know what I was doing. And I got jumped by 12 guys, and they just came up and just like kicked me in the chest, knocked me down. I'm all alone. I was, you know, I'm 6'4" now, but I was 5'4" as a freshman in high school. I grew 10.5 inches. So I was very little and very skinny. And these 6 Latino guys jump me, and the main alpha dude walks up, and he grabs my bandana off, and he goes, yo, bro, you want your rag back? You got to claim it back from Cactus Bunch.
What in the fuck? What in the strawberry shortcake unicorn mythology? Cactus? What? Cactus pickles? What were they called?
Hey, man, it was the first I'd heard of them.
What did you say? The
Cactus Bunch.
Bunch? Don't call your gang a bunch. That's like a Don Knotts, Tim Conway movie.
Look,
a bunch?
They weren't. I'm not saying it was the toughest gang in town. I'm saying there was 14 of them, and they had my rag. So the guy took the fucking bandana off, and he goes, "You want this back? You got to claim it from Cactus Brunch." Now,
Yeah, well.
No, sorry, Cactus Brunch. Cactus Brunch was even more dangerous.
That's what their wives were.
They met at the Bel Air Hotel every Sunday.
Little cucumber sandwiches, and they would just talk shit.
They said, claim it from Cactus Bunch. And I was like, hey, man, I found that. It's yours to keep.
It gets too cold in Milwaukee for people to be that violent. Like we all have to hibernate. We have to save our energy. And oh, by the way, my apologies to the Black Gangster Disciples, the 2-7 boys, and the Cactus Bunch, especially the Cactus Bunch, because we really took them. I want the Cactus Bunch members that are listening to the podcast to know my issue is not with your manhood. It's simply with your nomenclature. It's your ability to name your gang properly that I question. I don't question your ability to murder me. Cactus Bunch. It's so adorable. We're the Hug-a-Bunch.
There's a